Well, Metallica fans, I'm going to be doing a review on the latest Metallica album released just this calendar year of 2023. The latest one, 72 Seasons, released on April 14th, 2023. This is the front cover. This is one of the spines. This is the back cover from the way I have it set up, and then this is the other spine, which says the name of the band and album, Metallica 72 Seasons, Blackened Recordings, and has some code or something. This is kind of what it looks like when you open it. It's basic like that. See lead singer James Hetfield there. Lars Ulrich. Pair of headphones, and you open it up again. See Kirk Hammett, and it looks like an old record player. And then you open it another time, you'll see Rob Trujillo, and you'll see a globe. Then you open it up again, and you see the booklet. It looks like a bear. Looks like it's been like burnt in a fire or something. And like see the back of this. And this is where the disc goes. I have the disc in my car currently. For some reason, the track listing is not at all on this. I don't know why. The only place the track listing is right here. And inside the booklet, it has all the tracks and stuff. Like, I didn't really need to do a box review or whatever, I guess, that much. Let me just, because one of the guys in the band did so online, so I probably kind of wasted time there. But whatever. Let me just set this the way I want it. Okay. Heal. This. Okay. Just putting this away. Okay. Now I've reviewed all the other Metallica albums that are official albums of original material, dating back to their first one, 1983, Kill 'Em All. Album, Ride the Lightning, 1984, Master of Puppets, 1986, and Justice for All, 1988. The Black Album, self-titled Black Album, Metallica, 1991. I think that's definitely the most famous. Load, 1996, Reload, 1997, Saint Anger, 2003, Death Magnetic, 2008. And Hardwired Self-Destruct in 2016. Boy, to be honest, I really don't think this album 70. Let me just kind of talk a little about the cover art. The cover art, it's kind of interesting. I kind of wish that there's one thing about it that was, some of it's kind of cool. Some of it I kind of wish was different. That they could have left out because I just find some things a little disturbing. Let's just say I just kind of wish they would have left this out right here. If I think everybody who's an adult and teenagers knows what that is right there, and I just kind of wish they would have left that off and say instead maybe put a picture of some girl in a bikini or something. And I think if you think about it, you'll get what I'm alluding to there. Something. positives about this album, I'll be honest, I really don't think that this album is that good. It's not their worst album, but it's not one of their best. It's alright. That's all I can say. I'd say, in terms of where I would rank this one, I would rank this probably just below Hardwired Self-Destruct from 2016 and right above Load. Saint Anger being my least favorite. That album personally is considered to not even be a good music album, and barely anybody likes that album at all. And then Load, that one's not great either. There's 7 songs that are really good on that album, but then there's another 7 songs that aren't really that great. But it's not a bad listen. This one here, I can't say there's really much of anything great material-wise, song-wise. I'd say Lux Eterna is a great song, but the problem with it that I have is that it does not sound original at all. It sounds like something that they literally could have done 40 years ago on their first album, Kill 'Em All, or maybe on Ride the Lightning in 1984. Like, as if like they could have written it way back then and then just like forgot about it, and then all of a sudden found it and be like, oh yeah, we wrote this song nearly 40 years ago and we never put it on an album. We gotta put this one on. This one's a good one. Or something. Like, it doesn't feel original is what I'm saying. It feels like it could have been written back then. It's a great song. I like it. It just sounds... It just doesn't sound original. It sounds kind of like very similar to Listen to Motor Breath or Hit the Lights. Like, it could have easily fit on, like, say, Kill 'Em All, 1983 as an extra song, or Ride the Lightning as a 9th song, maybe like to end the album, Ride the Lightning, like make it a track 9 after Call of Cthulhu. It's a great song though, I'll be honest. That was the first one they had released that, I remember, in November of 2022. And I had not expected, all of a sudden, like, I had just, like, I remember I got in my car at one point and I was checking, like, my emails and things like that. I was doing something with my mouse on my laptop. I'm recording this on my laptop. Sorry. And, like, I'm looking at, like, Instagram, and all of a sudden I see, like, Metallica, they actually have a new song. For the first time in, like, 7 years, they had a new song. It was just, like, wow, finally. It's like, oh, yeah, like, finally, like, it's just, like, I had heard, okay, not sound rude or anything, but it's just, like, it just been a long time since they had anything new is all. It was, like, alright, fantastic, get a new song, and it's like, oh, cool, they have a new album. Let's just say, I'm very thankful that they did release this album in a way, just because it's just great to hear new material from them, and that's kind of what I can say, like, it's one of the things I looked forward to this year in 2023. Say, I mean, I kind of wish that they would have, like, put, like, the track listing on the back of it, kind of, as well as write the name of the album right here on this side, the spine on this side as well. But most people have, like, a smartphone or an iPhone these days, and they can just look up the track listing, or they can just look in the book. So it's not really the biggest deal. If it was, say, 20 years ago, I'd say it would be a bigger deal. As well as I kind of wish they would have also said, like, the time for each track. A lot of the songs, they just don't really go anywhere that much. I mean, none of the songs are bad. It's just nothing great, nothing original. I can't say that there's no real time changes. Like if you listen to a song like say Fight Fire with Fire, which is a short song, but it has some time changes to it. Ride the Lightning, longer song, but great and has some time changes and stuff. Master of Puppets, song right here from this album. Um, has some time changes again, and even when it gets slow, it stays like the slowest part in the song where it goes like that honestly that might even be my favorite part of the song. Just I don't know, there's something about it. It's just great. Um, I mean, it's not a bad Metallica album, but it's not a great Metallica album. I'd say it's all right. Can in comparison to the rest of their material, it's okay. I don't know if maybe they're maybe like when they're writing songs if they're like more conscious now or something in terms of like how fast they're doing or how fast they're writing new songs because maybe like they want to be able to play these songs for as long as possible or something. And I know they're like in their late 50s, um, and like getting close to 60. Like James Hetfield, who you can see if I can point right there. If you can see right there. I mean, he's going to be 60 this year in August. Robert Trujillo, he's 59 this year. Kirk Hammett, he's also 60 this year. And then I think Lars Ulrich is also 60 this year. So they're getting up in age. So I'm wondering if maybe, even though they can play fast stuff, they can still play songs like Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, Lux Turner. They can still write a fast song. Um, I mean, they can still play like Whiplash real well. Master of Puppets, Battery, they can play. I actually saw. I was fortunate enough to see them live for the first time and only time I've ever seen them live in my life last year on May 29th. They came to the Boston area to the Boston Calling Music Festival, and I got to see them, and it was just a great experience to see them live. It wasn't anywhere near as loud as I hoped it would be. I think it may have just had something to do with the outdoor venue because it was a very big open venue without a roof. And I think something to do with that probably is why. Maybe if like they would have been in another place with a roof overhead, whether it was indoor or just with a roof overhead, maybe it would have been louder and sounded a bit better of a concert. But it was just great to see them live. And I was just thinking like, man, I gotta see them live now because I don't know how much longer they're going to be touring because they're getting up in age because they're getting close to 60. And I remember Slayer, they retired from playing live shows and making new albums today. You never know. I mean, I heard from, I think it was like the band The Eagles. I had heard something that like they wouldn't make an album. They would not make an album again unless like the next time they said like, what's the chances of them making another album? And it was like When Hell Freezes Over. And then literally they made another album sometime later and they called it When Hell Freezes Over. I'm not sure if it's original material or if it's a live album or what. But like Slayer, I had heard like I think it was on like Facebook or Instagram or something. I think like Kerry King might have been asked if Slayer would ever reunite or something and like tour again or something. And they said like, not a chance in hell Slayer will ever reunite, I think Kerry King said. I think they actually released a live album recently, but I think it's like pre-recorded stuff from like the last decade or something, so it's nothing like, it's not like they just like played like a short live show somewhere and put it live, I don't think, or nothing. I think it's probably from like their last tour or something. So I was thinking like, I'm like, okay, Slayer, they're one of the big four of thrash, and they retired just like 4 years ago. And I'm like, Metallica, they're also one of the big four of thrash, and they're thrash. I'm like, okay, there's a chance that because Slayer retired, of course Slayer they're a bit faster, but Metallica they can play a lot of fast stuff too. And I'm thinking like, okay, there's a chance they might not be able to tour much longer. Will they still be touring in say 5 or 10 years from now? And this is last year. I'd love it if they can still tour and do original, tour and stuff. I'd love to see them surpass the Rolling Stones. I think that would be awesome because I'm more of a fan of them. I'm not really a fan of the Stones, but I find it inspirational that the Stones, the Rolling Stones, I think most people know them. They've been touring since the 1960s. And well, actually, I'm not sure if they're still touring. They might have just stopped touring because I know their drummer died. I think so. Maybe they stopped touring because of that. But I'd love to see them like match the Stones in terms of how long the Stones were able to tour, and they toured for like nearly 60 years. It would be really cool if Metallica could do that. Like if they're still able to play, say like stuff like, even if say they can't play like Fight Fire with Fire at say 80, let's say in like 20 years, if they can still play say like Enter Sandman, Sabbath True, Holier Than Thou, if they can still play some stuff off Reload, Load, maybe some stuff off Death Magnetic, and then their latest two albums, I think that would be great. Even if some of the songs they can't play anymore because maybe like they just don't have the energy or something, that's totally understandable. Because I know it's like with age you kind of slow down. Although I don't know if it's necessarily to do with age of why a lot of their songs are kind of slow on this album. It feels that way. Maybe it's just that like there's not many time changes, and a lot of the songs I feel like they kind of go on a little too long. You can kind of even say that with maybe some songs off Hardwired. Maybe a couple of songs. I'm going to say two songs. The first two songs off of Death Magnetic go on a little long. But in a way, I think the first two songs off Death Magnetic, I don't know if I'd say I like those two songs better than a lot of the songs off this. But that album full length I like better despite the sound quality. That one could definitely use a remix, remaster. They seem to be doing remix, remasters every 30, once it's like the album has reached 30 years. Which means if they really do it 30 years from where they've been going, like they did 30 years since the Black Album, that means probably 2026, 2027, they'll probably do Load, Reload, Remaster. And then probably 2033, which is 10 years from now, maybe they do Saint Anger Remaster. And then maybe 2038, maybe they get to Death Magnetic. And then I guess maybe they do a remix remaster of Hardwired, which I really don't feel is I feel like the only ones that really need any remix remaster, could use a remix remaster, is definitely Saint Anger. That could definitely use a remix remaster at the least. And then I'm going to say Death Magnetic, definitely. I feel like, and then like Hardwired Self-Destruct, I don't feel like that needs a remaster or remix because it sounds great the way it is. I would just say if they could just put it all on one disc. That is another good thing about this one. I like how they put this all on one disc. Because I didn't like the fact that Hardwired, which only had 12 songs on it, which is the same amount as this one, 72 Seasons, it was on 2 discs for some reason with a bonus disc. And I feel like the bonus disc edition is personally the best because, I don't know, I think I just like a lot of the live songs on there of some of their early material. Positive things I can say about this album. There's no acoustic guitar on it. To me, that's a positive because I don't like acoustic in metal. It just doesn't sound metal to me. I just don't really go for it. That's kind of small though on that. The vocals are good. Like, a problem I have with, say, Injustice for All, the vocals are not good in my opinion at all. They sound really bad, in my opinion. I've heard live versions of stuff off Injustice for All, and it sounds 100 times better, in my personal opinion. I heard them do one live in person when I was at their concert recently. It sounded so much better than the album. And just any live version of that sounds better than the album. And even some stuff off like Master of Puppets sounds better live to me, because I feel like James Hetfield, the lead singer's vocals, are better now than they were back then. Maybe that had something to do with the fact the recordings and stuff or something. Or there's some songs that are early songs, like with Ride the Lightning. Like, I kind of feel like his voice was better for that song way back then. In terms of how he performed that live and stuff, it was more intense then. When he sings that song now, I feel like it's not as good live as it was on that album. But, like, there's certain songs that, like, I think any band, any artist plays, sings, raps, screams, growls, whatever, live is probably going to sound... Some things might sound better live, some things might not sound better live. And, like, obviously when you get older, your voice changes and stuff like that. So, it may have something to do with that. I know that, like, Metallica is probably capable of making an album that is fast and heavy, and the way that, say, the Black Album is, or say as thrash as, say, Ride the Lightning is, and Kill 'Em All from 1983, honestly, I think, and maybe, like, Injustice for All. I think what it is maybe, like, I don't know what their approach is. Maybe they want to do longer songs that don't have as many time changes, possibly. Because if you ever listen to, like, say, classical music, it doesn't really have, like, there's some music that doesn't have many time changes and it's longer songs. So maybe it's, like, almost like, maybe they're trying to go with, like, some kind of different approach or something. As a fan, though, of Metallica and metal and hard rock, though, Megadeth, they had an album that came out just last year, and Megadeth's Dave Mustaine, he's like the same age as these guys in Metallica, and he was actually in Metallica, for those who don't know, for a short time from 1981 to 1983, I believe it was, when they first started, but then he got kicked out, and then started Megadeth, and I'll be honest, I think Megadeth's Sick, Dying, the Dead, that album is 100 times better than 72 Seasons. It's fast, it's thrash, it's heavy. From start to finish, there's not like one bad song on there. All the songs are good. Maybe it's not entirely original for metal or entirely original for them, but I feel like there's a little bit of originality for them, a little bit in there, because they decided to do with Ice-T. They decided to have Ice-T guest voice doing a little rap collaboration, and it was like, okay, this is cool. It's like something new they've never done in any Megadeth album before, and I like originality, even if it's not original for metal or rock, but it's original for that band, something new for that band. I like something new and original. I like hearing some creativity when I hear a new album. So that's a reason why I kind of rank this one. The only reason why I rank this one above Load is just because of the fact that, I don't know, I think even though Load has like 7 really decent songs, and this one, the songs, I say there's only like one great song in here. I've listened to it 3 times all the way through now. Almost. The only one I just haven't practically. I was going to listen to Inamorata one more time, which is an 11-minute song, one more time before I did this video, but I kind of forgot. That song is a lot like listening to The Outlaw Torn, which I don't really like that song that much, but I like it better in The Outlaw Torn. I think it's a better song. It sounds like it's like about a breakup. Like, I know that James Hetfield, he got divorced from his wife last year. I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I heard he's got a new girlfriend. So, at least he's got a new girlfriend. That sounds good for him, at least. I think they all have their health. I think it's great that they can still play at this age. It's inspiring, getting close to 60, and they can still do fast songs like Fight Fire with Fire and Ride the Lightning, even though I think Ride the Lightning live does not sound as good live as it may have did back in the 80s, early 90s. But like some of my favorite songs like Enter Sandman, Sabbath True, Holier Than Thou, my top 3 favorite songs, they can play that just as good as they did back in the day, and on the album it sounds just as good now. Other positives about it, for me personally, I like the fact there's not one swear or curse word or any profanity on the album. I like that. That's a positive for me. So I don't really like, whenever I hear like a curse word or a profanity, I don't like that. I prefer no profanity, no curse words. If they say like a mild swear, like another word for poop or something, or or butt, that's fine. I don't really mind that. I mean, like if they, yeah, something. Other than that, so positives about the album. From and a positive note, and maybe say, okay, the positives about this: the vocals are good. I'd say slightly less good than on the Black album, but to me, on that one, I feel like James' vocals are just perfect on that album. That's my favorite one they've done, personally. I have a ranking of all the Metallica albums. Maybe I'll leave a link to it, and I put that one as number 1. That's my personal favorite. Others might disagree. They might say Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets or Injustice for All or even Kill 'Em All. They might like better, and I totally get that. Okay, let's probably end this soon, within the next couple minutes or so. This is going on almost 30 minutes. On a scale of 1 to 11, I'm going to say, no, on a scale of 0 to 11, what I would give this a 0, no, on a scale of 1 to 11, a 1 being Saint Anger, and an 11 being, I'm going to say, the Black album. This is going to be basically where I'd rank it. Vocal-wise, I'd say I'd give this eight or a 9. Black album being the best vocals in my opinion. So, vocal is great. Sound-wise, sound of the album, I'd say in terms of audio quality, I'd say Black album being an 11, the highest. And lowest sound quality, I'm going to say probably, in terms of audio quality, maybe Death Magnetic, just because it's a bit compressed. The songs are really good on that. A lot of them, there's a number of really great songs on there, which is why I like that one so much. So it kind of makes up for it. I'm going to say, in terms of sound quality, I'll probably put this at around maybe a 2 or 3. In terms of sound quality, in terms of, yeah, I'll probably put this at like 9 or 10 in terms of sound quality. In terms of originality, though, and where I'd rank this, though, I would give this probably a 9. 9. Wait, no, that's not what I meant to say. I didn't mean a 9. I meant, 3. 3, that's what I mean. With, like, 1 being the least best, meaning the worst. The least best, meaning Saint Anger. And then 10 being Road, which is the least best out, second last Beast album, and then I'd put this one. I'd put this one in 9th place. So this would get a 9 on that one. Uh, what else can I say? Cover art, I'd say. I don't know. Cover art, nothing really special. I don't know. I guess I'd give it. My favorite cover art, probably, I'd say maybe Ride the Lightning, with maybe off the top of my head, maybe kill. Master of Puppets, maybe second favorite cover art, third favorite cover art, maybe I don't know, maybe Kill 'Em All, fourth favorite cover art, maybe Injustice for All, fifth favorite cover art, maybe I don't know, Death Magnetic or Hardware. I don't even know. I don't know. I just put this like I'll give it like a 5 or 6. Um, well, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I don't really know what else to say. Positives again. I want to end on positives. The vocals, very good. The audio, good. The music, good. Not bad, not great. Just kind of in the middle. I'm gonna say all right. I mean, it's better than like really anything, much of anything that I hear on FM radio nowadays. Um, so overall, I'm gonna say the album, it's all right. But if you're new to Metallica and you don't know where to start, I wouldn't start with 72 Seasons. I would start off with, say, something like the Black Album or Master of Puppets, or maybe Ride the Lightning, or maybe Kill 'Em All. That's where I'd start off because those albums are some of the best and have good sound quality. Although Kill 'Em All is maybe not as heavy of an album, it sounds more like a punk rock album with a metal overtone, kinda. But I'd say it's a better album, and like the audio's good despite like it sounding not great. I feel like the audio, I feel like the vocals in a way are better than on Justice for All and the original recording. Or in some ways, I like that one better than in Justice for All because it's a more fun album in my opinion. I guess that's my thoughts, and I guess I'll just end it right here at about, but it's going to be 33 minutes apparently.